Hey, I'm Miami Herald sportswriter Manny Navarro. About a week away from National Signing Day, and I'm here to talk about the Miami Hurricanes signing class. Everybody was excited this past weekend because the Hurricanes picked up 4 commitments in the 2016 class, including 3 local kids, 2 from Gulliver Prep and another from Coral Gables. But that class is a year away from now. It's ranked number 1 in the country, but it's still a year away from now. We're here to talk about the one that's going to sign on the dotted line February 4th. Right now, the Hurricanes have 19 commitments heading into the final official visit weekend. Most of those 19 commitments have been a part of this class for a long time. Really haven't been any new additions in a while. The big news of this past weekend, Lawrence Cager, a U.S. Army All-American wide receiver, decided to keep his commitment to the Hurricanes, said he's basically 100% with them now. Cager had visited the University of Alabama. He's one of 2 wide receivers in this class. Let's go ahead and take a look at the commitment list now. As you can see, 4 players going to be early enrolled and participating in spring football with this team. Jaquan Johnson out of Miami Killian, the 4-star safety, U.S. Army All-American. I saw this kid play in person multiple times this season, just a tremendous tackler in the open field. The Hurricanes have 4 safeties coming back from last season, all guys that are older, juniors and seniors. So it was important for Miami to address the safety position this year, and getting Jaquan Johnson in early is a big get. As well as the offensive line, you look, they got 6 offensive linemen committed in this class. One of them, Jahair Jones, a junior college kid out of Brooklyn College. He'll be coming in and participating in spring football. It's really important for Miami to address the offensive line in this class. You look at the number of starters they lost. Eric Flowers leaves early. Your starting left tackle leaves early for the NFL draft. You lose 2 seniors in Shane McDermott and John Feliciano, guys that were rock. So you look at the offensive line, the only returning starter with significant experience is right guard Danny Isadora. So, the Hurricanes are going to need help, especially, even if none of these guys end up starting, these new 6 end up starting, you end up having guys in the rotation, in the mix for sure. A couple of the ones to mention, Bar Milo out of West Hills Chaminade. He was a starting left tackle and teammate of Brad Kaya in high school. Tyrese St. Louis from Bradenton IMG Academy, 4-star, highly touted offensive lineman. ESPN ranks him as UM's top recruit in the class. So really important for Miami to get these guys in and contribute right away on the offensive line. Now we look ahead to some of the targets. Now, Miami's had a lot of visitors come in. They're still after a lot of guys. Like I said, 19 commitments. They could potentially take 25 kids in this class, even though they are facing some scholarship sanctions. Al Golden is going to do the best he can to address those sanctions handed down by the NCAA by cutting back on some of the scholarships. But there are guys that Miami considers high priorities. Number 1 on that list was Marcus Lewis, a 4-star cornerback out of Washington, D.C. Gonzaga. The Hurricanes are supposed to have an in-home visit with him this week. Kentucky is also in the running for Marcus Lewis. 6'1", 187 pounds, very good cover corner. You look at this class right now as it stands, Miami's got 1 cornerback, Michael Jackson. Cornerback position, another area of need. There's 6 guys that are coming back, or 5 guys actually, that are coming back at the cornerback position for Miami. All of them older guys in the class. So this is a position area that needs to be addressed with this class as well as 2016. Another big-time target for Miami, Antonio Callaway, the star receiver out of Booker T. Washington High School. This kid told me last week he's completely torn. Visited UM, visited West Virginia, and Alabama is supposed to get his last visit, although he could end up switching that to the Florida Gators, who we know are in dire need of help. Callaway, big-time prospect, only played about half the season for Booker T. Washington State Championship team, but just a tremendous, tremendous athlete and definitely a priority. Miami's got 2 receivers in this class, Terrell Chapman and Lawrence Cager being the others. Getting a 3rd receiver would be important considering they've got a lot of older upperclassmen at the wide receiver position. Somebody who could be in addition to this class, Frederick Johnson out of Royal Palm Beach, another offensive tackle, 6'6", 301, a 3-star recruit. He's supposed to visit the Florida Gators this coming weekend. If the Gators don't sway Frederick Johnson, he should follow his teammate from Royal Palm Beach, Mr. Anthony Perry, or rather Charles Perry, to the Hurricanes and be a part of that class. One interesting visitor, if you look at the list here of the final visitors for this coming weekend, Torrance Gibson, quarterback out of Plantation American Heritage, won 2 state championships, MVP of that team. Gibson's one of 5 non-committed at least not committed to the University of Miami players who were scheduled to visit this last weekend. Al Golden went and visited the U.S. Army All-American last week in his home, tried to convince him to give the Hurricanes a visit, and he will. And we know the Hurricanes lost their quarterback recruit, Dwayne Lawson, throughout this process a couple months ago. They have Vinny Testaverde, son, Vincent Testaverde, a transfer from Texas Tech coming in. But if they can land a player of Torrance Gibson's ilk, that'd be a huge boost to this class. Right now, Gibson, of course, committed to national champion Ohio State. We'll see how things shape up from here. But right now, solid class for the Hurricanes, ranked 20th by 247 Sports, 22nd by Rivals.com, I think 20 also by ESPN. So the Hurricanes can add a couple of key pieces here down the stretch. Could be a top 15 class.